Mairead McGuinness is the European Commissioner for Financial Services. Commissioner, it is good to see you always. I'm grateful. Thank you, ma'am. Look, it's not going to be long before European citizens, if they're not already, are absolutely fuming at higher energy prices, filtering through the production process into higher inflation that can't be met by wages. How concerned are you?
Well, look, good evening from Brussels here. And I think what is of concern is that we're not just saying the energy problem is of today. We've been talking about this at the end of last year. And you're very right. Citizens in Europe already feel the impact of higher energy prices. And I suppose we have many factors coming together. We're coming out of a pandemic, we hope. That will continue, but that has caused, as you've been discussing, bottlenecks and other issues. There's a question of lower stocks generally of energy in Europe, and then there are higher demands. So I think the combination of these factors at a time when we're also trying to diversify our energy sources is impacting in a real way on citizens. It's very interesting if you look at our Commission figures on inflation for January, 5.1%. But if you strip away unprocessed foods, so commodities and energy, the rate will be 2.5%. So we are seeing an impact here. And I suppose what we need to try and predict, and we'll be having those figures out next week, is does that continue and what are the consequences? But clearly for citizens, they're seeing higher energy bills in their home when they're commuting to work, as many of them are returning to work. So it's a real live issue, not just in Europe, but I know today in the UK. And indeed, this is a pressure point. If energy supplies are tight, it's impacted right across the globe.
At the Commission, is there, if we look at the tensions between, say, Ukraine, Russia, obviously the US, is there a tension in Brussels at what might happen? And perhaps a feeling that this is an area now of NATO and national governments, and what role the Commission or the EU per se plays in this?
Well, I think on the whole Russia-Ukrainian issue, the Commission speaks with one voice with the member states. We have expressed our hope that diplomacy will sort this out, right. But we've also expressed very strongly that if that is not the case and there is, if you like, an escalation, then we will be ready to react. So I think our role is very much speaking for and with our member states on this crucial issue, where we are concerned, very concerned about what's happening in both Belarus and indeed in Ukraine. So I think beyond that, what we are saying is diplomacy is the best way forward. But clearly, and I've listened to your reports and many others just today, there is a fear of what might happen. And that too could have consequences and impacts for global supply chains and indeed for global energy prices.
If we look at the area that you're particularly concerned with, financial services, the number of new entrants, and I don't just mean cryptocurrencies, but I'm talking about digital wallets. We've got the Fed with its latest discussion document on a central bank digital currency, CBDC. The number of different ways that we are now using digital currency. How difficult is it for you to regulate that across the members of the Union?
Well, of course, the rate of change in the financial system is quite incredible. And I think COVID has accelerated that because we've many off. Because people needed to be able to do transactions and to do it remotely. And that's been positive because we've got good products and good apps that are doing that. When it comes to regulators around the world, we are very conscious of the need to regulate for the future, not the past. And I do think it's a challenge, but it's one that we can face up to. What we need to see is that the risks that apply in the, if you like, the virtual world have to be regulated the same as those risks apply in the real world of transactions. What we need to do is harness the benefits of innovation. So these are really good innovations that are there, but acknowledge the risks, including for money laundering, for privacy issues. You mentioned, which is interesting, about digital central bank currencies. And of course, the ECB with the Commission are looking at this. We don't expect, an immediate, if you like, decision and a way forward. We have to look at all of the consequences. But clearly, digitalization of the
Right.
financial system is real, and it will only evolve more rapidly as time goes by. So we are alert to this. In fact, we have just completed, and it will go through the European Parliament and the member states very shortly, two pieces of legislation on, cryptocurrencies and on cybersecurity, which is a key issue in this ever digitalization age that we're living in.
And we'll talk more, Commissioner, in the future on CBDC. I'm not sure about it all. But anyway, that is a subject for another day for the two of us to get to grips with. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us this evening. I appreciate it.